If you go to a card show and make a deal with another customer while you're there, is that grounds to get banned from that card show for life? Well, that's what one card show operator in South Florida says. He says customers who do that are stealing from the dealers, and he is booting them out. What do we think of this new practice? We'll debate now. Hello, sports card investors, and welcome to another episode of Cards on the Table. Teapot, get out. Just get out. Leave.
Nice.
Just get. I saw you.
I was going to be here till 10, so I'm out. Yeah.
I saw you last weekend. You were doing a trade with somebody here in my store. Get out. Banned for life. That's the treatment, by the way, that you guys would actually get. We don't do that here at Cards HQ, to be clear. We welcome people to make trades with each other. But there's a trade show, there's a card show in South Florida that is taking a little bit of a different approach. And it's getting a lot of feedback and reaction right now from around the sports card hobby. So this is specifically the Lake Worth Sports Cards and Collectibles Show. And the organizer of that show recently went to Facebook and posted a rant about the fact that customers are showing up at the show and they're doing deals with other customers. And he specifically said, it seems that a lot of people, not just kids, feel like they can walk into a card show with a box of cards, find another customer, and go up front and make deals without buying a table. That is expletive stealing. Pieces of crap that want to win the lottery without buying a ticket. That's how he's describing these attendees of his card show that does this. He then goes on to say that he will throw out and potentially ban customers who are caught doing this. And he made it clear in the post, quote, "The inmates do not run the prison, I do." Wow. He then, by the way, followed through on this Facebook rant because at the next card show they did, sure enough, there was a handwritten sign right at the entrance of the card show, which informed all the card show attendees of this policy, that they are not to do deals with other customers, and if they are doing that, they face eviction from the show. Now, he says he's doing this because he's defending the dealers. The dealers have to pay for tables at his show as they do other shows. And he says when people show up and they are doing deals with other customers, it's taking sales away from the dealers at that card show. So he's doing this, at least he says, in defense of the dealers. Teapot, is this the right thing for him to do, or is this a bit of a misguided action? What's your take?
This is wild, man. It's like, it says he's hunting people down in the bathrooms and finding deals getting done. I want to know how that goes down. Like, two dudes are in there like, "Hey, here you go, give me the cash." And he's like, "Get out of here. I don't care what you're in the middle of. Get out of the bathroom. You're out." Like, how does that happen? This is what we would call an old school approach. And, not necessarily the kind of show that I'd be like enthusiastic about wanting to go to. I would like to know what prompted this. You know, like how does this come to be? Does he just have a dealer who's been very loyal to his show for many years and is fed up? Is it several dealers? Like, he's obviously feeling very defensive about the dealers. In my mind, you need to feel defensive about the people who attend your show and dealers, like both. It's just like any marketplace like eBay or anything needs to take care of sellers and buyers, and they've got to balance those two things out. You need both. You don't have a card show if people don't come to your card show. So it's a bit of an odd thing. If I'm a dealer and there's a deal going down, like maybe my cards need to be priced better, more competitively. Like, I don't know. There's just a lot of factors that go into this. When I read through this the first time, my first thought was quite literally the same thing that Ryan from Card Collector 2 posted as a GIF, which was from Dodgeball with, "That's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him." Because that's literally that's what came to mind, and I saw that was like the top comment on our post. This also reminds me of like the start of one of those old Snickers commercials that I think like debuted with Betty White in the Super Bowl, where somebody's just like, "Rah, rah, rah," and they're like, "Hey, Ralph, have a Snickers," and then he just like turns back into himself and he's like, "Oh, I feel better." You know, like just what happened. I hope there's a follow-up from this guy. Like, tell us, give us more information other than just calling us, you know what, inmates and accusing us of stealing. So I can't say I'm going to be too excited to get in my car or a plane to head on down to Lake Worth anytime soon.
Aren't you just, I'm almost tempted now to go to that show specifically and to walk around and just to like have some cards. Like maybe I get one of those card necklaces that, you know, Slabstrong used to have around my neck with like some cards on my chest and then like a little sign up there that says like for sale or trade, and just walk around the show, you know, talking to other customers.
That's
like,
an instant ban for sure.
They would toss me out of that show in 8 seconds flat. But I mean, it would be some great content actually.
I saw one positive comment, like as I was scrolling down on our Instagram post about this, defending him, and the name of that account was Baseball Card Curmudgeon.
Yeah,
I mean, literally, that's what the name of the username was. So
that's probably one of the dealers at this show.
I don't know.
If I had a take on that, Ryan, what do you think? What did you think when you saw this statement from this card show organizer?
Whenever I see dealers complaining about people trading at the show, it's always the dealers that are overpriced, not doing too many sales. But then I like picture like a show, like I'm packing up, I'm about to leave for the Dallas Card Show. Thousands and thousands of people fly out there. There's trades going on everywhere. There's trades in the lobby, there's trades in the hallways, there's trades in the aisles, and it's the most electric and community atmosphere for a card show. I don't know if there's trades going on in the bathroom, but you know, you're allowed to do it out in the lobby and everything. And I think that's what creates a great sense of community. I think that's what creates a great show. It creates a great atmosphere where collectors can all get together and make deals. I will not be booking this show for our guys. It's a little weird. I think makes me want to think like those guys got to be washing their hands at that card show because everyone has to go to the bathroom to make deals.
yeah,
I don't know.
So you're saying you don't need to be protected
As a dealer, right? We set up at shows. You set up at shows all over the nation. Look, I completely agree with what you said, Ryan. This is unbelievably missing the point. A rising tide rises all ships. And the more community you can build around a show, the better everybody at that show is going to do. This guy is thinking completely backwards, completely opposite of how he should be thinking. He should be thinking, how do I build more community around my show? How do I get more people to show up? How do I get vibrant trades happening? How do I do a trade night? How do I make this more of a spectacle and bring more people in? And some of that involves people wanting to do deals with each other and not necessarily the dealers, and that's okay, because ultimately if the total population coming to the show is increasing and increasing and increasing because that community begins to build and that energy and excitement is there, everybody, including all the dealers at the show, are going to win. And what's really interesting is this exact example already played out in real life at the National, because from what I understand, the attitude of the National going back to 2015, 2016, 2017, they didn't want trade nights. They did not want any trading to take place at the National. They didn't want trade nights, and they would not do any official national trade night. Same with 2018. Same with 2019. Card Collector 2 got together with Kentucky Roadshow. They started doing a trade night in a hotel a little bit, near the National, which they paid for. They rented out the ballroom. The National at first didn't really like it. It was not an official national event. And because the National was not supporting trade nights at all, Card Collector 2 and Kentucky Roadshow, decided to do it themselves on their own dime just to help the community. And of course, that trade night became overwhelmingly attended and popular. And at some point, the National, and then that happened for multiple years that way. And at some point, someone at the National woke up and started to realize, oh, wait a minute, that trade night's really popular. It's growing every year. There's people who come to the National now more because they're excited about going to the biggest trade night in the world, rather possibly than coming to this show. Maybe the trade night actually could be a good thing. Maybe we should wrap our arms around the trade night and actually bring the trade night into the National. And a couple of years ago, for the first time ever, that's what happened. And they teamed up with Card Collector 2 and Kentucky Roadshow, and they had their first ever national trade night. And then what do you know? That was an overwhelming success, and all the attendees loved it, and none of the dealers said it hurt them, because they had record attendance that year. So then the next year, which would have been last year, they decided, oh, instead of doing one trade night, we're going to do 3 trade nights. And then this year they did 3 trade nights again. And by the way, now we have a Card Kids trade zone, which we at Sports Card Investor have done the last few years. And now the National has gotten behind that to support that as well.
Yeah.
It has played out in real life at the National. The attitude has shifted from people going to the show to do deals with other people is bad for the dealers. Now it's shifted to we embrace it, because look at the overall growth of the National over the last 10 years. Look at what it has become just in the last few years since they started embracing the trade nights and the kids trade zone and all this kind of stuff. It has created, the spectacle of the event has become much wider. A rising tide rises all boats. This guy is completely backwards.
Yeah.
Just the wrong way of thinking. The opposite of what I would do if I was a card show organizer. The opposite.
I agree.
Yeah.
And it's why we do trade nights here at Cards HQ, all the time. We let people on our trade nights, we let people set up and sell cards.
Yeah.
They're in competition with us. They're in
Cards,
competition with our
boxes,
showcase.
whatever they've got.
We are okay with that.
Yeah.
We're okay. They can set up and sell cards on our trade nights because we're like, this is for the community. This is to get people in the store.
Yeah.
Maybe people don't spend as much with us that night, but now they're here in the store and exposed to the store, and they're coming back every month to the store, and they eventually will spend even more.
Yeah.
And that's our attitude. It's worked out really well.
Yeah.
All right. Enough about this crazy
Yeah.
guy.
Yeah.
Let's go to something crazy, but in a very positive way, and that is the massive grail that I'm about to pull from Arena Club. Phil, I opened up an Arena Club Emerald football. Let me see what I got here in my slab pack. Let's open this up right here. This is football. We're right at the start of the season tonight, guys. Tonight.
Yes. Can't wait.
What are we getting?
Oh!
Boom!
Herbert.
To 10.
Herbert.
Wow.
Justin
standard?
Herbert, gold standard to 10. Auto.
That's a good one.
Card.
That's a good one.
Gold
Yeah.
to 10. You can't go wrong with gold to 10. Okay, what did you get, Teapot?
I did
What
football.
pack? You did. Of course, you got to do football.
I did football.
All right, let's see what Teapot got here. Another Emerald Football Arena
Yep.
Club slab pack for
Yep.
Teapot.
Oh, nice. I mean,
no, it's a Packer.
It's a Packer,
I mean, that's a
You know
good
what? That's
card.
a good Packer, though.
Hey, you know
That's
what?
a good
I
card.
will trade you that in the
Downtown Jordan
bathroom or somewhere else. Yeah. Yep.
You want to trade that for my Herbie auto?
I don't
might
know.
trade you.
We'll see.
I might trade
We'll
you.
see.
All right, Ryan. Let's see. Did you do football too?
I did
Ryan?
football.
We got to
So,
do
we
football.
gotta
We got the
celebrate
season
football.
underway. Let's see what
Yeah.
Ryan got.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Gold
what's that?
vinyl.
Oh, you got a gold vinyl.
Mason Smith.
Mason Smith gold vinyl to 5.
Big boy.
That's
What's up?
pretty cool.
Hell
like
yeah.
that's pretty cool. I mean, that's pretty neat to get a gold vinyl to 5 out of Prism. That's a pretty cool card. So
Awesome.
There you go. Awesome. That's a rookie too, right?
Rookie, yeah. He went to
Mason
LSU.
Yeah. Mason Smith rookie. All right, not bad at all. Not bad at all. I think we did. That's a nice way to celebrate the start of the season. And guys, if you want to rip a couple of Arena Club slab packs of football or any of the sports they have, they got Pokemon, they get everything on Arena Club. You can go rip right now and save 20% off your first slab pack purchase at Arena Club with promo code SCI20. Just download the Arena Club app or go to arenaclub.com, promo code SCI20 for 20% off your first rip. Okay, guys, let's jump into our next story today. We've been talking on this show about how hot the sports card market is. We see record prices going up. We see data about sales of cards online eclipsing last month's record. I think we're like 3 or 4 months in a row of like the all-time high bar being set, for sales of cards online. Now we have this. Now we're getting data from retail that is saying cards are absolutely exploding. Target, Walmart, other retailers are reporting explosive numbers. So Target had an earnings call recently, and during their quarterly earnings call, one of the chief officers at Target said that their card sales are up nearly 70% this year. They are projected to top $1 billion. $1 billion at Target. $1 billion just at Target in 2025. That is a combination of both sports cards and TCG. Walmart reported a 200% spike on its marketplace. Walmart reported Pokemon has grown 10x year over year, 10x.
Didn't people make fun of Ruben for
People
saying 10x?
people made fun of Ruben for saying that Topps wanted to 10x the hobby, and Pokemon apparently has done it at Walmart over the last year. An industry analyst says industry-wide retail trading card game sales are up 101% year over year, and sports card sales are up 48% year to date. They also say that trading card game sales now account for about 10% of the overall toy market.
Wow, that's crazy.
Think about that.
Wow.
Legos, Matchbox cars, trading cards, 10%.
Wow.
Like, wow.
Barbies, Transformers,
Like
yeah,
all
there's
that
a lot of
stuff. 10% is trading card games.
I believe it.
And they got one aisle for sports cards and TCG at Target and about 15 for toys.
No kidding. No kidding. Now, another industry analyst says that they are not sure this is sustainable, and this may just be the fad of the moment. So what do you think, Teapot? Are these types of numbers sustainable, or could this be just the fad of the moment and we'll see this even down in the months or years ahead?
I don't believe any of these numbers. I don't think they're possible because people in the comments have been telling me the hobby's dead
Yeah.
for years. It's
It's
dead.
still-
In fact, they said you ruined the hobby
Yeah.
we love, Jeff.
Yeah.
And so these can't be real.
Yeah.
They're all inflated.
I've been hearing it's all going to zero now for about 6
it's
years.
all down and zero and everything.
This was the
right?
year when Vegas
Yeah.
Dave said every card would become worthless. I
He
believe
did.
2025 was
Yeah.
the year.
The only
he said
thing
by
he got right about
2025
that-
every card would be worthless.
The only thing he got right about that was Derek Carr.
That's right.
Who
Okay,
retired.
well, that's
Is this sustainable? I don't know. I know there's a lot of cynicism around it. What I see is new people coming into the hobby every single day, whether it's sports or TCG or other non-sports cards. People are getting really interested. I have a theory that kind of came to me a little bit on the TCG space and Pokemon especially, and where that boom's coming from. And my thought around that was, like, I'm a 90s kid. So I was like 92 to 99 was like my collecting time frame. And I think Pokemon and Pokemon cards really started to kind of peak and gain interest and popularity in the games like early 2000s. So if you play that script out, and a lot of people started coming back 2018, 19, 20 into the sports card space, now it's like that same age demographic like 7 years later is starting to come in, and they're actually going to Pokemon. Like grown men are like, I want Pokemon
seeing it
cards.
out
I want
there,
it. They're interested because it's their nostalgia, it's their childhood. So I think that's part of the driver, among many other things with that. Not to mention the IP is just insanely popular still to this day. Wax prices are up, retail included. And maybe the like cynical side of that is the value proposition just really isn't great a lot of times, especially in the retail offerings. Obviously, you're not getting guaranteed autos. Some of them have cool stuff or retail exclusive. Others you just get smoked on, and that's the problem that people are very vocal about, getting mad at. You know that if you can't hit good things, but then you also can't find the product, but it's also too expensive. The levers you pull on the supply and demand, controls as a manufacturer. There's only so many of them. And we've talked about at the end of the day is people like to remind us that Topps and Fanatics are a for-profit company, but they are trying to grow it. I know Mahan and others have talked about how they're trying to be cost conscientious, and they don't want it to go infinitely to the moon. But the reality is this stuff's just selling. And every single day that I go out, even just to peruse the shelves, I see somebody, I strike up conversations, and they're like, yeah, I'm brand new. I just got back into this a few months ago. Like more and more and more people. So my gut says this isn't going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. What do you think, Ryan? Should Target just like clear out their home goods section and just make a giant trading card store in there now?
I mean, it's looking that way according to their earnings report. But I remember like the days of like 2016, 17, 18. You can go into Target, Walmart with a goal to buy a Prism Blaster or an Optic Blaster, and you wouldn't really have to like fight for it. That all changed during COVID, obviously, where if you saw one box on the shelf, you were probably buying it for no reason and going home and ripping it. Obviously in like 2021, 22, they raised the prices. I mean, blasters used to be always $19.99. I don't know if you guys remember those days, but
Absolutely.
I mean, the glory days now.
Yeah.
Now you go to Target. I mean, the Target by my house, there's always 6 people in the aisle looking at all this stuff. You would never see that back in 2017. Now the blasters are $30, $40 at Target. So that's changed, and I don't know if that's changed necessarily with Pokemon, with their like MSRPs, which maybe that's why it's all cleared.
Yeah, it's cleared always.
I mean, like a prismatic booster bundle, you can get that at Target for MSRP, but then it's worth double, triple.
Yeah.
So you got the scalper game involved in it too.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, but it's great to see it. I mean, the aisles at Target being filled with collectors, and I even tell them about Cards HQ, and I only live about 10 minutes away, and they are learning about the hobby right now.
Oh boy,
it's their first time.
Target
coming.
might ban you. That Lake Worth card show
No doing
organizer
deals.
might call up Target and tell him you said that.
Do you think it's better, like if you were looking at prices, just as a consumer, putting aside what the manufacturers have to assess, is it, as a consumer, would you rather have it be like your lucky day when you stumble across a blaster on the shelf and it's $20, but like it's impossible to ever find it like it was during COVID? Or is it better that they're $30 to $35, but you can find them and they're more expensive?
I think option B, because option A just means the scalpers win, and
Yeah.
you never end up paying $20 anyway,
Right.
because you got to buy them on eBay because they're never in Target, so you got to buy them on eBay for $100, which is what was happening during COVID. So, yeah, the supply and demand thing in this industry right now is so tough with how hot it is, but these numbers are wild. Obviously, I hope they sustain and continue. Who knows? Maybe it's a little bit of a overheated market right now. We don't know. Time will tell, but I still feel good about the fundamentals of the market. Like, I still feel good about the long term in terms of just the level of collector interest and the number of people that just genuinely really love this and enjoy this. And it's part of just their joy of life. And I think that will continue for a lot of people.
And I think even like on a Tuesday, Wednesday at 2 o'clock, Thursday, the store's still like full.
Yeah.
The hobby's got to be growing.
It feels that way. All right, guys, I got some breaking news here. Check this out. This is BCW's new card catalog system. This is their 6-drawer white card catalog system. Look at this thing.
Look at that.
You store all
cool.
kinds of cards in here. Very, very high quality. The drawers obviously, come in and out. There's a catch on them, so you can remove the drawers, but it stops them from just like
Plopping out.
flopping out on you. They got little top loader slots on the front, so you can
cool.
label or put like an example of card of what's in this. This thing's very well designed and manufactured. It was designed to exactly fit the size of a lot of the home bookshelf cubes.
Yeah.
Like, for example, those ones
yeah.
that
The
IKEA
cubbies.
sells, the cubbies this is the exact fit of those cubbies. So like if you got like an IKEA bookshelf, you can just literally put these right in there. It's gonna fit perfectly, just like those cubbies do. So I don't know, I might have to get a couple of these for my kids' rooms.
That's very cool.
What do you guys think about that?
I like that. I have some of the cardboard ones. This is next level.
Step up for sure.
It is
something
definitely
like
a step
that.
up. Yeah, so it holds 700 loose sports cards, 210 standard top loaders, or 45 magnetic card holders per drawer.
Per drawer.
Wow. So, I mean, this thing holds thousands and thousands of cards. Now, these are available right now on bcwsupplies.com. They are on back order until December because they've been popular, but you can go to bcwsupplies.com. You can order one. Promo code SCI is 10% off everything on bcwsupplies.com. Then obviously they'll ship when they're available. Otherwise, there are local card shops which do have these in stock right now. So make sure to check out the new 6-drawer card catalog.
That's cool.
From BCW.
I like that.
Cool.
I'm going to move that right over there, and we are going to get onto our next story, guys, which is a big one. We got new grading data from GemRate, and there's a couple of doozies in here. We just talked about the heat of the Pokemon and TCG market. This is getting extreme on the grading side.
Yeah.
So August GemRate's report shows that almost double the number of TCG cards were graded compared to sports cards. 1.45 million TCG and non-sports cards versus 839,000 sports cards. Now, 839,000 sports cards is actually still a healthy number, but the growth has been crazy on the TCG and non-sports side. PSA alone graded over 1 million TCG cards in the month of August. So a lot of positive news on the grading report, other than perhaps for SGC, which saw a 23% drop in grading between July and August. And of course, if you remember, it was a couple months ago when PSA said they were making SGC more of a boutique grading firm, and now it looks like the numbers are starting to play that out a little bit in terms of their monthly grading. What were some of your biggest takeaways, Teapot, when you saw this grading report for August?
Well, this just lends credence, obviously, to that boom in the Pokemon space and TCG. I've been really surprised. So, the Van Gogh Pikachu.
Right.
So, these cards. I mean, they're kind of everywhere. There's a lot of them. In PSA 10 condition, there are over 42,000 of those. They're still selling for $1,100, $1,200 a piece, with 42,000 of those in PSA 10. The total pop on those is approaching 90,000, 89,500
Wow.
of those. And in PSA 9 condition, they're selling for $479, and 8, $420. Huge demand on just that one. It's a really cool card. Don't get me wrong. It was a great concept, but this stuff is just absolutely red hot now. So that's one thing that just stood
Sure.
out to me is
Sure.
there's a lot of these,
Yeah.
and they don't have the same actual like rarity that a lot of sports cards do that might be low serial numbered and other things. So that jumped out. And then on top of that, I also noticed that not just SGC, but Beckett was down again another 14%, down to 64,000 total items graded. 64,000. So PSA does over 1 million TCG.
In TCG cards alone.
And Beckett does 64,000
Yeah.
total cards. Like, it's hitting like critical mass with Beckett now. So those are some of the things that stood out to me from this.
How about you, Ryan?
Yeah, we're seeing we're seeing a lot of popularity in the Pokemon space here in the store. I actually had a customer call last week, and he was like, I want to buy every single card you guys have that's graded. So we sold them all. And obviously Professor Mike was a little upset about that. We have Collecticon coming next week. Tons of customers coming to the store, so we're going to ramp up the TCG buying this next few weeks. But
Holy cow.
yeah, geez, I can't believe that it's 1 million cards graded TCG for PSA.
Yeah.
I can't even fathom like how many cards it is like stacked together. Like that's an unbelievable amount of cards.
Yeah, I mean, the volume they process
yeah.
is nuts. There's the difference in Pokemon between Raw and PSA 10 in a lot of cards is extreme. It's more so than sports cards. Like there's a lot of Pokemon cards that are 4X, 5X Raw to PSA 10 consistently, 6X.
Yeah.
Harrison shows me all the time. He's like,
Yeah.
Dad, there's still such opportunity to buy Raw Pokemon and to get it graded.
Yeah.
And instead of getting a 2 to 3X return like you might get with your sports card if it tens, you can get like a 5 or 6X return on some of these Pokemon cards. Some of the rarer ones even higher. But like I'm talking about even some of the recent releases where it's not impossible to get a gem, like 5X, it's like, oh wow, like there's, it's pretty wild.
There's also, go ahead, Ryan.
There's certain cards that are on the edge of the sheet that are always off-centered, and you can even see like a 10x boost if you can get a good grade on those.
Yeah.
And then there's certain cards that have like different spots on the card that happen on most of them from the factory. So if you get one without it, it's such a premium when you grade it.
Market Movers has a really cool feature called Intelligence Reports, where we compare ratios of grades. And I know a lot of people have been really excited about specifically Pokemon, looking at like PSA 10 to Raw, PSA 10 to 9, PSA 10 to CGC 10 or 9.5. There's a lot of arbitrage opportunities, and it uses our 6+ million card database to just show you exactly which ones have the highest multipliers. So,
You know what? That gives me an idea. Collecticon is coming up next weekend here in Atlanta. Harrison's going to want to go buy rare cards, or raw cards, I should say, not rare, but raw, to grade.
Yeah.
I might have to turn them on to intelligence reports.
you mentioned, having a hard time even conceptualizing or visualizing how many cards this is. We have a really fun video coming out in a few weeks on the Market Movers channel. Just hit 50,000 subscribers, and it's been a labor of love for several members of our video team that is specifically using gem rate data that Ryan was good enough to provide to us to talk about that explosion in graded cards over time and showing just how much and how big it is next to the Pyramid of Giza, shooting up to the moon. Like, it's going to be a really cool video. So if you're not already, shameless plug, go subscribe over there too, because it's going to be a really cool one.
All right.
Awesome.
All right, guys, one more story to talk about today before we wrap. This kind of ties into grading. This is about PSA expanding their offers program. And what this is instant cash after grading. So now, this is brand new. PSA now lets customers receive cash offers on their cards within 24 hours after grades being revealed. So PSA has a network partner of buyers who put in automated offers on cards. Cards HQ, we participate in it here at Cards HQ. There's certain types of cards that we're interested in buying, so we put in kind of standing offers on certain cards. So if one of those cards gets graded from anybody who submits it, they're going to end up with an instant offer within, right after it gets graded and the grade gets revealed. That might be our offer at Cards HQ, or it might be an offer from another, card shop or dealer. Of course, this is just like kind of the next step in what PSA's been doing to really focus on the selling of cards and bring more liquidity to the sports card market. They had the tie-in with eBay, which started last year, where you can now go straight from grading to eBay. They recently did their grade to sell special as well, where you could, they gave a discount if you graded cards and then agreed to put them immediately to eBay auction. So it seems like more and more PSA is secretly becoming one of the most, if not the most powerful marketplace in the hobby, even though they're not directly a marketplace, but with their interconnectivity, with the offers and eBay and all this stuff, like the volume of sales transactions that's happening as a result of their infrastructure is gotta be massive at this point. Teapot, what's your take on them continuing to kind of grow that angle of their business?
I mean, I know some people, I think, see it as a potential conflict of interest. It's okay, they're grading the cards and now they're making them available somehow. I don't see it that way. I saw that partnership with eBay when it first started in the Vault Exchange and all that stuff as just like a smart business move, and one that, as we've talked about, takes friction out of the picture for end users, and that's what this does. One piece of, I think, like misinformation or confusion that people need to understand is this is not PSA buying those cards. PSA is not grading the cards and then making you an offer like a dealer to buy the cards from you. They're making approved partners as part of a dealer network, available to buy those. So it's, there's and no bathroom exchange is necessary. Like they're just you just go on there, and then if you want to sell your card, and we've talked about this for a long time. I know one of the best ways to be profitable in sports cards is through grading. If you can find those raw copies, you send them in, and most of the time when I send in a grading submission, some of it's for my PC and some of it's to help fund my PC. And so if there's an opportunity for somebody on the other end, I don't have to worry about the shipping costs back or the risk of something getting stolen or damaged. And they just say, hey, we saw that Jordan Love downtown that just came through. We're willing to offer you this much money for it. Maybe I am just going to be like, yep, deal. No brainer. I'll do it.
What do you think of this, Ryan?
I think it's almost competing with us at card shows. We have had some comments, unfortunately.
I will protect you.
Where people are saying, "Oh, the PSA offer was better," and I'm like, "Well, that might have been our offer, but it was through the PSA instant offers." But I do think it's great for the hobby. Liquidity has always been important. I do have a grading order coming back from our last drop-off event. I am interested to see how they value the cards compared to how I do it, and what software they're using to do that. Because if you look at a PSA value, not great usually. They're partnered with Card Ladder value, also not great all the time. So how are they coming up with these valuations? That'd be interesting. But like you said, they're grading 1.6 million cards a month.
Yeah.
And as long as they fit in the parameters of what these dealers set, every one of those cards will get an offer.
Yeah.
So I see what you're saying. They could become a leading marketplace.
Yeah, I think that's about a third, 20 to 30% of what eBay does in sales per month on trading card singles.
Here's my biggest question on this. If you submit a grading order and then a couple months later, you're at the Lake Worth card show, and if your phone bings on a Saturday afternoon when you're at the card show and you look at it and all of a sudden you've got a PSA instant offer on your cards at that card show on your phone and you accept, are you banned from the card show? Yeah. Is that it?
Inmates.
It's like you're looking at your phone. Are they gonna remove phones from people before they can go into the card show so that they can't get instant offers from PSA on their phone during the card show? I mean, it's something to think about. I don't know. Those people are selling. It could be stealing. Those people are selling those cards to PSA's dealers. I don't know. All right, guys, what did you think about today's show and all of the topics? Let us know in the YouTube comments, and don't forget to get one of those Arena Club slab packs with promo code SCI20 for 20% off your first slab pack purchase. Thanks for watching. We'll see you soon with our next one. Stay safe out there, everybody.